What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going over a Melodious deck profile. This is going to be an update from the previous one. I've been taking it to locals, going to be able to feature you guys some stuff. Also, tooling the side deck in this one. I'm going to be telling you guys why I'm playing certain cards and why I'm not playing some of them here. We have 5 cards that I'm not playing. Actually, 6 cards if we're counting one in the extra deck that I'm not playing, that I'll kind of be telling you guys why and explaining that. So before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel a lot. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to be seeing. There's going to be lots of Melodious content, at least one video a week about Melodious. On the channel, you know, one of my favorite decks from now on. Kind of picked it up after Unchained got hit, so I'm really glad that I was able to play it. It doesn't remind me kind of the same way of playing, but it does, as in, like, you know, you only have like really 1 or 2 interruptions, and you just have to like time them correctly. Then you have like your hand traps to follow it up. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with the copy of 3 Refrain. This is gonna be very standard. This is gonna let you able to search your stuff. It's one of the 9 card starters. I guess 9. It's one of the 9 1-card starters, which I should say. So we have that here. And then we have the 3 couplet. I think you could choose if you wanted to like play, if you want to play more consistently, you could play 2 of it. But it's really good even if you open it, hard open it there. I mean, you're able to activate the effect searching for the concerto, which is really nice as well. You know, this is like a lot of the targeting cards that people are going to be wanting to go for nowadays. You know, stopping that ad, because I realized how powerful it is, that you definitely, you know, it's like an ogre and also a ash target as well. So that's it for those. We are playing the 2 Soprano. I definitely think that you should be playing 2 of these. I don't know why people are only playing 1. I think that's kind of wrong. You know, it's going to be a target to get hit with the Bestials because they are playing only 1 of it. So, you know, just definitely going to be able to add back your cards. And it can miss timing, which is important. There is a bunch of duels where I forget that it does miss timing. So, you know, I activate at the wrong spot. Then, like, a lot of times, like, people are going to be ogreing this. They really should be keeping Ogre for this card here, Soprano, because if it activates the effects, it has to fuse using itself. So if you just hit it with Ogre, it won't be able to resolve, which is really nice for that, like, for secondary fusion. And then we are playing the triple Sonata. So I'm not playing Cannon because I'm not playing Baguska, so I guess fair warning. But you can definitely cut down 1 Sonata and play a Cannon instead. You just essentially want 3 of the extenders. Then we are playing the 1 Shapina and as well as the 1 Aria. We are also opting to play the 1 copy of LG. So this has been cut a lot of the times for like another copy of the Concerto or another card. I really think that the targeting protection, also like if you go full combo and you have your copy of Sonata, you can actually link away into the Bloom, activating the effect, summoning both of these cards, and it does provide a little bit of a lock. You know, it does hurt when you hit with like copies of like, I don't want to say like Raigeki, because that's not really a kind of stuff that actually activates. But like a lot of the times, like they'll try to like destroy your board, or like they'll try to go, if you summon stuff in attack position, they'll try to go Lightning Storm, stuff like that. So you really want to play around the most that you can do, or even if they want to go Black Rose, you know, they can't have that option because you have the LG there, which is really nice, and also it gives you a little boost as well. So like it's just there. You can obviously cut it because it is a brick. But it's also just nice, I find. And having that extra fairy count doesn't hurt the deck at all, especially because we're playing the next card, which is going to be Herald. So moving on to the hand traps, we are playing Herald. We are playing the lots of fairies, therefore it's really nice. And also, people don't realize you can actually add this back with the copy of Shapina. It just adds a light back, which is really cool. So being able to add this back out and then like having it as a hand trap, like essentially Gam, which is really cool. And then we have the 3 Ash Blossoms, we have the 3 Veilers, the 3 Imperms. I said that in the wrong order. But like this is it for our hand traps. We are playing a couple board breakers. We're playing the 2 Talents and the 1 Droplets. Now this might be like, why the heck is he playing 1 Droplets? This is simply for my siding patterns. I didn't want to play the 3rd Talents at all, and Droplets is never really bad. You could opt to play a Rivalry in the main instead and just cut this out completely. But just for my siding patterns, I wanted to be able to see it. It's not bad going first nor second. Therefore, it's just really nice to keep in the deck. You know, I would play 2 of this if I could play 41, but I'm trying to just play 40 to play most consistently, and that's what kind of was my last card I threw in, just to help my side patterns, essentially. Now for the power spells, we're playing 3 Ostinato, obviously. We're playing 3 first movement solo. This card is definitely mandatory. You know, we have only 3 cards that are, these are our 1-card starters if you guys have not seen the deck before. So any one of these gets you into full combo. Not full combo through 1 hand trap, but full combo through essentially just being able to play through all your stuff. And then once you start adding multiple cards into your hand, you have just extreme powerhouses when it comes to this. So this card definitely is like mandatory. But if you can't afford 3 of them, you can always play another Concerto. You can play a bunch of other cards that you want to. It just helps the consistency of the deck to get you up to those most like powerful cards. And there's times where you can actually go like Ostinato. That turn you already have a first movement solo, and then you can actually use first movement solo because you have a Toile that can bounce all your cards, which is really nice. You can just summon a copy of the Aria, which is cool. But then we are playing the 1 Concerto, and then of course our triple Pot of Prosperity, and then their 1 copy of Call by the Grave. I'm not playing double Concerto because I'm not playing Desires, and I'm also playing Prosperity, so I'm not playing Desires, which is also like an important fact there, which is like you can absolutely play Desires. The deck changes a little bit then, you definitely want to be adding another copy of Concerto. But other than that, it's like that's just kind of really it. You can just change it up, but like if you only play 1 Concerto and you're playing Desires, if you banish it off that, you're going to get really hard because you're not going to have that grind game, getting that draw. But Prosperity, I find, lets you actually dig through the deck. Like the deck has obviously significant power, but I find that if you guys watch any of the POV duels, you guys can see them like unscripted, just like at locals, getting the experience, seeing what my cards are, being able to see from my point of view. A lot of the times, it's not that you don't have cards, it's that you just don't have the right amount of cards. So like Desires drawing 2 cards doesn't really solve your problems. But Prosperity, being able to dig for 6 cards, choosing that 1 card that you really want, whether it being the Ostinato, another copy of like a reframe that you have to do for your combo piece, a couplet. You have a lot of like 2 card starters. Like obviously we talked about like the 1 card starters being every one of these. But when you start banishing 10 cards from your deck, not that you'd ever banish these 9 cards, but you don't actually like, you're never going to draw these 2. So like being able to go pros, chances are you're going to be seeing at least one of these. And like at that point, you should have other cards in your hand that let you play through it. So I just really like pros for that, being able to dig rather than that random draw 2. That's just me. You can obviously play whatever you guys want to play. But yeah, and so I guess we'll go to the extra deck now. We have the 2 Étoiles, the 2 copies of the triple DD Crow, triple Maestra. This is because we were playing Pros. You can cut this down to 2 if you want to. We are playing the big YouTube combo, so we are playing the copy of Odd Eyes Vortex, the Absolute Dragon, the Cross Sheep, and the Appaloosa. This is really it for the, like, I don't want to say fusion part of the deck, but you can absolutely cut down these if you wanted to as well. This is like the 5 cards that you would banish off Pros. So if you see Prosperity, you can just start off by banishing all these 5 here, and then whatever else you want to. But you can definitely cut this out for like a Baguska. You can play a copy of Typhon, really whatever you want. You can play the Bloom Diva because we're not actually playing that card, which gets really better with Yubel. When Yubel comes out in its full power, you definitely are going to want to be playing this card, which will just show on the screen now. You definitely want to be playing this once that deck becomes more powerful. And you don't normally get like this off, but if you're playing against like a branded deck, or you're playing against a deck that you've already gone through a couple hand traps, stuff like that, or that you're not going to be able to do anything, you check for hand traps, and then of course you can just try to go for this. And it does set up like a nice little Omni Negate, and then obviously a 3-mana Appaloosa, which can distill games as well. But then you have the SP, the Gravity Controller, and the Double Bloom. So I really don't want to play double of this, but I find myself a lot of the times wanting to play double, and that's because a lot of players are learning that you only play 1 of it. So at a local scene, I definitely just want to play 2 for now, but this can be absolutely cut out for like a copy of Baguska or the copy of Bloom Diva. There isn't any Yubel players really at our locals other than Chase, so shout out Chase, I guess. But like a lot of the times I'll find ways to get over it, or I'll just be able to like DD Crow their stuff or a Étoile bounce it back. But yeah, like this just being able to go into like your cards, and then it's also like a really easy banish target off the Prosperity, stuff like that. And then of course this is for your copy of the Bacha, which is really nice, and then SP's SP. I do kind of want to play IP as well, but there's not really room into it. Because I might like try to cut out the Vortex Dragon combo, but I just really like it right now. It's just really cool that Ostinato can just do that 1 card stuff. It's like just be big, and then people like are still not being able to play through it, which is really funny. But now for the side deck, we're playing the double Nibiru. the double copies of Droplets. These are the other 2 cards. Then we're playing the double copies of Lightning Storm. And we are playing the triple copies of Ghost Ogre here. So this is kind of just like our hand trap lineup. So you notice double nib. The reason why we're playing double nib is because we're also playing the cross-out detonators. And for the last 3 cards, we're playing the evenly match as well. So the reason why we're playing it like this is because nib is not actually just for hand traps, because a lot of times you will get punished by having it on the field. You can't use your ostinato, you can't use your first movement solo, but we wanted to be able to play it so that you can like cross it out at some points, and then also like being able to side 2 cards in really helps. So like if I'm going first, I can just side in nib, and then a lot of times I'll side in both nibs because it's not a bad draw going first as well. If they crack your board and you're able to nib them, it's really good. A lot of the times you're going to have all that resources already gone up. That ostinato or the first movement solo is not going to be your go-to play. So it's really cool to be able to do that. Ghost Ogres for the Tempai matchup, as well as, being actually really good in a bunch of other matchups as well. Crossout, just because like the deck is resilient to hand traps, but a lot of the times like going those board breaker cards that you get hit with like Droplets and Talents, which is why Talents is the main deck as well, really hurts you a lot. So just being able to like, set this card and then activate it and going to be able to call like a Talent or a copy of Nibiru if you're not playing safely around Nibiru by like doing some really weird plays. And then of course like Lightning Storm for the back row if you have a bunch of other stuff. And I really didn't want the deck to get hit like with a bunch of things. Like a lot of the times you'll see them go evenly matched, and which obviously you can bounce your étoile. Like a lot of times like you'll just lose your back row. So I'm not playing cards like Ravelry. I'm not playing like, D-Barrier is a chainable card, so I guess you can play it like that. But I find like D-Barrier plus Trap Tricks. So if you go Battle Phase, start a Battle Phase, you obviously activate the Trap Tricks. But like you have to like play through some stuff, and then different dimension grounds as well. I ended up taking those out because those were going first cards, but I just wanted to be able to play with Crossout instead. And the Crossout just saves me a lot of times by just being able to call it that evenly matched and just not have to worry about it if I already have like a Droplet set or anything like that. Because when you do get like evenly matched, you just bounce your cards, or you just bounce nothing to the hand, and it's like, okay, well, I now have lost my interaction. I hopefully have hand traps. They can't kill me that turn, granted, but it's like if you're playing against the mirror match, it also just kills you because they can you just summon an étoile, and then when your cards come back, they just étoile bounce your stuff, and then you're essentially just dead regardless. So Crossout is really good for those board breaker cards compared to a lot of other people when you're playing Snake Eyes. You want to be able to hit like a hand trap that hurts you a lot, which this deck can do as well, but it's just for side patterns, I wanted to be able to play like consistently, which is what this deck really strongly does. So that's why I'm playing these cards here. You are noticing that there's no copies of like Harpy's Feather Duster or the copies of whatever it's called, Cosmic. That's because étoile can bounce those cards as well, which is really cool. It does struggle a little bit, which is why we're playing like evenly matched, and then our copies of Lightning Storm when we go second. So the reasons why we're not playing these cards, I'll put them out. Bloom Diva, Ravelry, Desire, just going to go with the Concerto, and then the Cannon and the Tam Tam. So I'll just move these up in the camera. Bloom Diva, just because I don't have the room, you obviously can cut that, we kind of mentioned. Ravelry is just because I just don't like the card a lot. Floodgates don't really help the deck. You're able to just do so much without it. Therefore, if you were playing kind of pure without those copies of the big YouTube combo, we would put this in. Desires, because we're playing Prosperity. And if you're not playing Prosperity, or if you're not playing Desires, you don't need to play the second Concerto. We could move into the second Concerto if we start seeing people hit hand trap the copy of Couple more. But like for now, I'm just playing the one of. I'm not playing Cannon because I'm not playing the copy of Baguska, and Cannon and of course the Sonata does the same thing. This just activates and you can only summon it once per turn. So I would rather always see the copy of Sonata because I can summon it as many times as possible. And this coming level 4 never comes up due to the fact that we're not playing Baguska. And then obviously with more consistency that I've talked about a lot, being able to add back the Sonata consistently rather than adding back like Cannon that can only special herself once per turn. Doesn't really come up for me. And then the Tam Tam, I don't play this on the side because I'm not a dirty little greaser. And I don't really want to play at the time. And if you're playing at the time, you're doing something wrong with the deck. So obviously if you're going to a YCS, you can definitely do that because you want to be able to steal those wins. But at a local scene and the regionals, chances are you won't really see me with the Strawberry Purse. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to see more content like this. To stay safe. Peace.